Okay, well, I beg y'all's indulgence here because I'm going to be unfolding a few things that, I'm not sure quite how to articulate them, and hopefully I won't just stumble all over myself and be completely incomprehensible. And I'm working towards a something that I think it's is important enough to put to writing. And it's something that first caught my attention. Well, I don't know. It's not that this phenomenon has caught my attention for a while now. This phenomenon of the effort to fetishize the ugly, to fetishize that which is ugly or obese or otherwise, undesirable physically, and to somehow make it into this perverse ideal. Um, I have to say that for me, it's been a hard. It's been. Um, I had to overcome certain roadblocks getting to understand that this is the phenomenon. This is the way that things are right now. Because I mean, when I was growing up, and even I think until really quite recently, it was sort of understood that the beauty was going to rule. Like, people who were beautiful, people who were good looking, they were going to be the ones who would be in movies and TV shows. They were going to be the ones who would be models. They were going to be the ones who would be promoted for causes or for advertising a product or whatever. And of course, in the early days, I mean, well, in the first days of the sexual revolution, in the swinging '60s, as it's called now, that was the truth. They relentlessly used beautiful, mostly women, it should be said, mostly young women, um, to push this whole sexual liberation idea or notion. Um, you know, and that kind of makes sense because that's how you get people, who are used to being traditional minded, who are used to being disciplined, um, who are used to. I guess I'm mainly talking about men here, but it's men and women both, really. The sexual revolution was about corrupting both men and women. The idea was, though, that you would see something pornographic or something like pornographic, but not hardcore pornography, like a topless girl dancing or something like that, or a movie like Barbarella, uh, or I don't know, some of the other oversexed movies of the '60s and early '70s, and there were plenty of them, which mostly featured young women. Scantily clad young women, and you know, not. I know that there was a hardcore pornography scene, but the stuff that was being shown, just in the mainstream was stuff that wasn't hardcore, but that was certainly putting it all out there. You'd see breasts, you'd see beautiful bodies, and that was part and parcel of the sexual revolution, which was this campaign to ultimately undermine the family. Um, and it was sold as like, this is a relaxation of, the we've been too uptight about sex for too long, and now we're going to be, we're not going to be uptight anymore. We're going to celebrate it, and here's some beautiful girls, and here's this sexy movie about a sexy couple, doing liberated things, and I don't know, this, that, and the other thing. So that was the sexual revolution in its early days. I mean, that was the manifestation of it in the glossy manifestation of it as it took shape, in the entertainment industry. And of course, there was music that promoted it as well. It was a whole thing. It was a targeted, focused, agendized thing, handed down from on high. That's not to say that everybody who promoted it was aware of that, of it being a psyop, if you will. But it was, I believe, a psyop. It was in the sense that it was being pushed from, prominent positions. It was being pushed by those who had control over things like advertisement or entertainment, and just other cultural manifestations of various types and forms. And it was pushed through the pill. The pill was the first big thing, but everything else sprang from that, and ultimately, as I've said before, the purpose of it all was not truly to liberate anybody or anything, but to undermine the family and to enslave man to his passions, which tradition, however, various types of tradition, whether it's, you want to talk about Christian tradition or Stoic tradition or some other faith's tradition. The idea is, if you're thinking in traditional ways, that that if it was always understood that sexuality could get out of hand if it was not kept within certain, if it was not kept within wedlock, that it would create, and it would generate a great deal of chaos, and ultimately lead to an undermining of people's sensibilities, of people's not just morals and values, but of people's just general quality of life. So you made the sacrifice, if you wanted to think of it that way. You made the sacrifice to be monogamous, in order to in order to contain this force, and promote it in or use it, harness it, for proper, wholesome, family promoting ends, i.e., within wedlock. Now, it was never perfect, and of course, there were a lot of monogamous couples that were unhappy, and it's also true that people who tended to be more, who tended to have more power, sort of tended to be the ones who would dabble with things like what they called swinging. That term is so, like, it makes it sound fun. It makes, we're swinging, but it's in practice, it's not that fun. In practice, it's emotionally devastating, and it hurts people. So this was the way things were at the beginning of the sexual revolution. um, where they used beauty. Beauty was the way, because men are vulnerable to beautiful women, beautiful young women. No matter how old you get, you still are. You still have that attraction, um, and but men weren't the only ones who were targeted here. It was everybody. With women, sexuality is a little bit more complicated, but there was still the promotion of like you don't want to be tied down. You're a liberated woman. Here's the pill, and now we give you freedom to abort, and we give you freedom to contracept. So ditch that old-fashioned mentality of the traditional housewife, and get out there and get into the workforce, and you can work just like men can work, and you can just screw like men can screw, and with no real consequences, except there are consequences. There always will be consequences. It's inevitable. It's just it's part of human nature that can't be defeated by by the efforts of nefarious principalities, powers, thrones, and dominions. But here's where in the last few years, things are getting weird with the sexual revolution. I mean, it's taken many twists and turns since it first was thrust upon the population, and some people have avoided it. Some people have managed to avoid it altogether and just go on in their traditional roles, practicing monogamy or celibacy, whatever it may be, but eschewing this whole notion of sex with no consequences, eschewing promiscuity or the different things that it gets called, the polyamory, the name, the cringeworthy name that it gets, that people give to it these days. What has been, but here's what I think is strange, and what I find partly mystifying, is that lately the effort seems to be to fetishize ugliness. And this is just like a reversal of what, before, if you wanted, if they wanted to, the propagandists wanted to show you something to corrupt you. They would show you, a hot girl dancing topless, go-go dancing or whatever, in a mini skirt, and that kind of thing, with long flowing hair, and just all the things that beautiful eyes, all the things that would draw you in, or that would awaken, that would perk up your sex drive. But a couple of things that I've seen recently in popular culture, I'll just name them right now. Okay, first of all, there's this new movie called Joyride, which is about. I mean, I haven't seen it because it looks completely obnoxious to me. It doesn't look like a movie I would enjoy. But it is about a group of Asian American women who are mostly not very attractive. I think some of them are fat, but they're foul mouthed, and they've got an attitude, and like the stories about them going to China I don't know, having various misadventures, and it's sort of been advertised like The Hangover, but for Asian, with Asian women instead of white men. But the thing about that is The Hangover didn't have any kind of attached agenda to it. The Hangover was just, this crazy raunchy um, movie. It wasn't out to say that I'm aware of. It wasn't really out to say anything about uh, uh, any particular ethnic groups, or put anybody down, or it was just to be outrageous and funny, and some people liked it and some people didn't. Um, but the clear vibes I get from this movie Joyride is just that they want you to revel in these these people who are ugly, and not just physically ugly, but ugly on the inside, just unpleasant people. And of course, there's an anti-white component to it. There's an early scene where like the two main characters make friends because a white boy is on the playground being mean to them, and then one of them punches him or knocks him off the swing or something like that, and he starts crying, and it's like, ha ha ha, yeah, stick it to the white man, ha ha ha. So, like, the impression I had from this movie is that it's it's not showing you uh, pretty people doing endearing things. It's showing you ugly people doing unendearing things, and you're expected to laugh at it. In fairness, I haven't seen it. It could be really funny. I doubt it, but it could be. It could just be a blast. It could just be a laugh riot, and I could be wrong. But the way that the preview was marketed was, again, this this aggressive ugliness, um, being almost front and center, and it was like the these Asian Americans, these debauched, degenerate Asian Americans that are featured in the movie. They're the very antithesis of the Asian, prototype or archetype of just of someone who is quiet and in control and ordered and disciplined, and all of the beauty of that people, Westerners who look to the East, everything that they see that they like and admire about. I know it's not all. I know every culture is complicated, but these aspects are what draw certain people of the West to the traditions of the East. But you see these obnoxious Asian Americans just like um, I don't know, just going around being vile everywhere. And it's again, it struck me as an inversion of what they were trying, like, because this is part of the whole liberation, like, be free, do your thing, screw whoever you want to screw, don't be told by a bunch of men that you have to conform, that don't just become a wife and a mother, and do, so it's doing all that, but it's like saying, be ugly and obnoxious. It's not saying here's some gorgeous here's some gorgeous people to look at. Don't you want to be like them? It's like, here's some really awful, ugly people. Don't you want to be like them? And I was thinking, no, I don't. But then it's obviously not geared towards me. The movie isn't. But I don't know if I'm an Asian American female. I'm watching that movie, I don't think I'm going to say, yeah, that's it. That's where it's at. I want to be like those girls. They're so cool. Um, and of course, the movie has flopped. It doesn't seem to be doing that well, but the critics seem to generally love it. No surprise there, I guess. But the other thing the other image I remember seeing recently, I had the misfortune of seeing was Sam Smith, uh, like doing some routine. Now, the promotion of Sam Smith is in itself just such, like, if you wanted to promote homosexuality, you know, like, I can understand it much better if you're showing George Michael, a good-looking guy in his prime, uh, you know, like if I were gay and I saw George Michael dancing around, you know, in short shorts and whatever, I could understand how that would be again. That's like a promotion of beauty. But now they're promoting like a gay icon or whatever the hell he is. Uh, um, is he non-binary? I don't even know. I don't. But like they're promoting these alternative lifestyles. They're promoting this LGBT stuff by having this big fat uh, guy who's not appealing, who you don't want to look at, who you don't want to see shake his ass. And that's the thing. There's this particular video that I had the misfortune of seeing, where it's like the title of it is like Sam Smith being iconic, and I think it was supposed to be ironically titled, and all the comments were like, oh my god. you know, just registering disgust, and it's like him, like in drag with all of his dancers doing some part of their number, and then it ends with him like in in these. I have to laugh about it because otherwise I would just throw up. Um, in these fishnet stockings where his butt is clearly visible, and he just like shakes his butt, like shakes it around, I guess sort of twerking. And I'm like, God, I mean, I don't like this, but if I were gay, even if I were gay, I wouldn't want to see this. So what are they doing here? What is going on? Like, why has it taken this turn where they're pushing the ugly? It's almost like they're trying to shun beauty and push what is ugly and grotesque, and say, this is beautiful. You need to find this beautiful now. But people it's my understanding, like some trans woman won the like is now Miss Holland, like won the beauty pageant. And you look at this person, does not look like a woman. It looks very masculine. Obviously this person won this award to promote this political agenda, not because this person was the most beautiful or the most desirable or whatever it is that the criteria that you would normally look for in a beauty pageant. So how has it taken this turn? Like I'm sometimes most intrigued by things that I didn't see coming, that I did not expect to see happen. And I didn't think a few years ago, I've talked before about this, when I heard like people, there were articles at the site Return of Kings where they were saying, oh yeah, they're just, like they're trying to push fat girls, they're trying to make us like fat girls, and I just thought it was like, and there were these articles kind of making fun of girls for being fat, and I was sort of like, this is kind of mean, like it's not, it's, of course you should try to be healthy, but just there are people who aren't who it's not always easy to regulate your weight, and you know it just seemed like they were going after fat girls for no particular reason, but later it became clear, yes, they are pushing this. Yes, there's a cut on the cover of Cosmo magazine. They've got some big fat, like 350-pound water buffalo of a woman, a BBW, like BBBBW, um, and they're trying to say this is beauty, this is, and I remember like whoever that actress is, I can't remember her name right now. I did a short with her, that sort of not morbidly obese, but fat. It's fair to say fat, like comic. I can't remember her name right now. It's like she was on the cover of like People magazine saying this is beauty, and I was like, no, this is not beauty. And it's not like I can speak. It's not like I'm saying I'm beautiful. A lot of the I recorded this video. This was one of my shorts, and of course, some of my shorts get attention from people who are hostile to the point that I'm trying to make, and they were all like, "Yeah, you're one to talk. You're one ugly motherfucker," and whatever. They were saying mean things about me, but I wasn't saying, like I wasn't trying to heap scorn on Melissa McCarthy. That was who it was. I wasn't trying to heap scorn on Melissa McCarthy for being fat or for being ugly. It wasn't anything personal against her. It was just the way that it was being promoted. Just seemed like it was like, this is what beauty is, and I was like, no, that is not what beauty is, and we all know it. But they're trying they're it's like a campaign of terror. It's like a campaign of, I don't know, it's just this shock and awe sort of thing, and it's not going to work. It doesn't work. Uh, people aren't ceasing to find hot girls hot. People aren't ceasing to find hot guys hot. You know, just because you're trying to promote Sam Smith and Melissa McCarthy, and a big fat 380-pound black lady on Cosmo, just because you're doing that's not really changing people's understanding of what's beautiful and what isn't. But it's like they're trying to make an effort. It's like this new sinister turn with the sexual revolution that's going on right now. And I think the sexual revolution was sinister from the start. I'm not saying this is more sinister, but this is somehow more perverse, because this fetishization of ugliness is perverse. The promotion of beauty, it's not perverse. It's something that's always been, it's always been a part of art. Drawing nudes and the beautiful man, like the David, or the beautiful woman. That's an aspect of art and beauty. And art, everyone with artistic temperament understands the power of beauty. But what they're trying to do now is fetishize ugliness, and I wonder I wonder what this is all about. You know, I know there's something very dispiriting about it. There's something very demoralizing about it, and I think that maybe that's just ultimately it. It's just another effort to demoralize us. You know, you want to look at a pretty girl. We're going to show you this big fat this big fat girl and tell you that she's beautiful, and this is what beauty is now. And you know, you want a beautiful woman to win a beauty pageant. We're gonna have this man, you know, with mannish features, but wearing makeup, but obviously a man. He's going to be the new beauty queen. Um, that's my best guess as to what this is, what's really going on with all this. But I actually don't know, and I would welcome anybody's input. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. Talk to y'all soon.